Hey, are we live?
We are live.
We're
I don't
live.
know.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Crow's Nest. We are here on Tuesday, the 1st of March, in like a lamb, not a lion, at least here in Colorado. I don't know about other parts of the world or the country. Um, we're sculpting today.
We are.
How you doing? How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing okay. Looks like
Yeah?
my Twitch is still messed up, but
Uh, well, yeah, I have a
maybe that is.
commercial, Justin. How come I don't
Oh,
have
here
a
we go.
sub? Because I'm watching a damn commercial on my own show.
Maybe I want
Yeah,
you
I
to
don't
watch a
have one
commercial.
either. There we go.
Are you
Maybe that
there?
commercial was made for
Anybody
you.
there?
Well, if you'll type in
Hello?
chat, I can give you a sub.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm in
Huh.
chat now. Good.
Hello?
Well, that cleared up.
Oh no, can you not hear us, Michael?
I can't hear anybody.
Oh no.
We'll see you. Bye bye.
Well, see ya. Bye bye.
There he goes. I can never tell if he's just pretending to stand still or if he's actually out.
Yeah, me either.
All right.
Hello?
Well, hi, everybody. Oh, there we go. Are you back?
Can you hear us, Michael? It's kind of crazy because we were literally just talking to Michael for
We
like
were.
20
What
minutes.
happened?
I don't know. Maybe his headset. His headset has
He's
been known to
typed in
do
the
that.
chat. Nah, he's not moving. So Michael's frozen in Colorado.
I'm in a
So
lot of
anyway,
places
Justin,
pretty
how are
frozen.
you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. I think I'm suffering from MDS, as I found out that's what it's called, which is
MDS,
mild
some
disembarkment syndrome, which
mild
is
disembarkment syndrome. So that
y-
means that you spent too much time on the beach,
no, it means quite
and
the
you
opposite.
wish you had spent more.
I
Oh,
spent too much time on the boat, and as a result, I got off the boat on Saturday, and I am still like my head is still wobbling like I'm on the ocean. Like
huh.
I can't step. My inner ear will not regulate itself.
Well, pray for earthquakes or something so you can get your land legs
Yeah,
back.
it's pretty frustrating. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really difficult to do stuff because I feel like I'm drunk without actually
Whoa.
being drunk.
Anybody?
Well, we appreciate your sacrifice. All right, we're
Oh,
done,
thank you.
Michael. Are you back in yet?
Damn it.
We can hear. We can hear Michael.
Yes, we can. Michael, can you hear us?
Do, 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 do.
Hopefully, he's looking at chat or text or something. Hmm. Well, this is fun.
Yeah, it's as fun as you can expect.
So anyway, where did you go on this cruise?
Um, we went to Roatan, which I found out is part of Honduras. We went
Oh, neat.
to Belize, and then we went to
Yeah.
Cozumel.
Yeah. I'm here.
Oh,
Meh.
there we go.
Meh. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Yeah, you went to Roatan. Did you go to Honduras? Roatan?
Yeah, Roatan. Yeah, as a part of Honduras, Roatan. Yes.
Yeah, I've been there. Beautiful there. That's my very first diving trip was Roatan. Did you like it?
Oh, it was. That's we went snorkeling, um, because they've got the second biggest, reef in the world, and
Yeah.
it is honestly. I mean, it was. I practiced free diving. It was.
Ooh.
It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. Probably one
Yeah.
of the coolest things I ever did was probably snorkel off of that reef because that water is crystal clear and just deep blue.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you came back alive and
thank
didn't
you.
get
Why
abducted
did
by
you
the
come
same.
back? Why didn't you stay
Yeah.
there?
well,
Right.
well, you know how it is.
Well,
I
gotta
guess it
pay the
wouldn't be a
bills.
vacation then. You'd get
I,
tired of it.
I was out there with the in-laws, and there's only so much of the in-laws you can take. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean?
Well, oh, they are not fun.
No, they're great. They're great. I'm
Yeah.
making a joke.
Oh. God, I mean, you're not even.
Only partially though.
Yeah, but
Wow. Covered up.
wow. Yeah, I hope they're not watching. I know they're
they
big
they don't
fans of the
watch any
show.
of my stuff. They
Okay.
don't watch it.
All right. So,
Okay.
sorry about the technical difficulties. Hello,
That's all
everybody.
right.
Thanks for
What the hell
joining
did you
us.
do? I mean,
Tish is on. Tish. Oh, and Bob and Julie.
hey, Tish. Hi,
And
Bob and Julie.
Gwendolyn Green is on. Thank God Gwendolyn Green is here. It's
Gwydion Green,
fantastic.
maybe?
Gwydion? Is that what? I don't know.
Who's
Yeah.
Gwydion Green?
I don't know.
Me.
But they're always on. Oh, you. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm glad you chat so that it doesn't look like
Yeah.
there's 6 people watching. I appreciate that, Jason.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, with all of us on, that's probably
Gwendolyn
like.
Green. Not that there's anything wrong with anybody named Gwendolyn, but that wouldn't be a name I would choose for
Hey,
me.
before we get started,
Oh, look at that. First time chat from Joshua161. Hello, Joshua.
Hi,
Awesome.
Joshua. What is that? You got
Look at
pizza?
that.
Oh,
look at that.
that's pretty good.
Oh. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I didn't totally screw up your sculpt. Hopefully I did it justice.
And what
Yeah.
exactly is it? I believe his name is Tweed Tin Pot. Is that correct? Is that what Ron named him?
So he's yeah. I rarely know the names. Yeah,
and
I just say
Shroomy, I think. So this is a free miniature that you get if you order a certain amount from Reaper Mail Order this month.
$40, I think.
Is it 40? Why'd you hold up 6
is.
fingers?
40, and then this is a 0.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's 40, but I'm not sure because I know that might have changed. I think that might be changing or has changed.
Yeah, it's on the
that
website.
Part isn't gospel, but definitely if you place a qualifying order from Reaper this month, you get this leprechaun and one of his mushroom sidekicks.
So you get $40, you get the leprechaun, and then you're going to spend $40 more for the mushroom?
No, I believe the leprechaun and the mushroom are in the same package.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, usually if you spend that much to get the free miniature of other merchandise, you usually get a bunch more free stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
So you get a couple, 3 other things. So that's always fun. And you never know what the kind people in mail order might throw in your box. So.
And I only had I don't know, roughly a day to paint that.
Did you? Did you have a whole day?
Yeah, a whole day. Well, yeah, just a whole day.
Well, it looks good.
Thanks. Sorry.
I know we haven't seen the back of it yet, but I get it. If you only had a whole day, you probably only painted the front.
Yeah. I'm not showing the back. I'm not showing the back. There's paint on the back. I mean,
Max says it's an awesome sculpt and the paint job is okay.
Yeah, Max. Yeah, whatever. Later, Max.
I'm sure once the paint job is finished on the back, it'll be even better.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about potentially having Max on, but maybe not now.
Yeah. I know us sculptors can't get away with just sculpting the front half and then having Ron show it on the video. We never do that.
Yeah, you would never do. Why would you do that? That wouldn't be right.
I don't know anybody that sculpts that way, but in the
flats
world of commerce, sometimes you do. Well, flats, yeah, you're right.
That's how flats started. It was just like, let's just sculpt the front half and not mess with the second half.
That's not how flats started.
That's what I remember.
Well, I think it started maybe before you were born.
Listening to Paint Dries on Michael Dutcher, fan of the show.
Yeah.
He's got that podcast.
Well, I keep hearing he's a fan of the show anyway.
Check out that podcast because he gets awesome guests on. Like he gets a lot of Euros on. Now, he's not constrained to time zones like we are, but yeah, since Europe is at midnight right now, probably. I think that's the math. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's good. And it's not that's a podcast, so it's not necessarily live.
No.
I mean, all answers are scripted, right? And okay.
Yeah, he tells you
when you were
what
on
to
there,
say.
it was like you're reading out of a book or something.
Well, I think I was the lowest rated episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
I get it.
yeah.
All right. So, what are we doing today? I see you have uh, yellow and blue fitting colors
Yes.
for this week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what are you going to make out of that?
Mm, Liberty.
All right, go.
We're gonna do what it, you're the teacher here.
Yeah,
I'm
I
the
just had
student.
forgotten what we were doing. I'm sorry. That it's
We're
been
gonna
2 weeks. So
we're
for me,
going
that's like a
to
lifetime, 2 weeks.
it has been two
Uh,
weeks. Well, as yeah.
so yeah, we have our little guys. I thought maybe we'd build an underlayment for the skull, the head of the squirrel, and then just let that set aside because we'll have to
Okay.
go over that to refine it
All right.
later on.
So
And
what does
then
an
we'll
underlayment look like?
just
Oh.
a skull, abbreviated skull.
Oh, okay. Like with eye
Okay.
sockets and like
Yeah,
a
we'll put eye
okay.
sockets in it, and you probably want the mouth open because I believe the picture you sent is screaming. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, here's my where I am right now. I don't think squirrels are supposed to have this big a neck.
No,
Yeah.
but part of that neck could be the head, right? If you bend it forward and clip it off.
Like that? Ah. Too
Sure.
big?
Yeah, no, that's. I'd maybe just give it a little tiny bit of a neck and
Okay.
then a bend. Not a huge neck or anything.
Yeah, squirrels. Hey, you know something that's really cool today? Totally not part of the show. Um,
What's that?
in my office, I'm sitting here working at my real job, and there's a window. You can see the window behind me. And my computer's right there, my work computer. On the windowsill, a little falcon landed, and
Uh
he hung out for like an hour, fell asleep. Just,
huh.
I mean, right
He
there.
fell asleep.
Yeah, he was just sitting out there, all
Oh,
chill. I think he
and
could see me.
did
There's
you
a
consider it
little,
a message of some kind?
yeah, I did
A portent?
a portent. What do you think that portent should be?
Well, I don't
Maybe we
know.
ask
What do
chat.
you think it was? It doesn't matter what I think it was.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to ask chat. What do you think? A falcon landing on the windowsill, just sitting there and falling asleep. What is it a portent of?
I don't
Yeah,
know. I have no idea. I don't
I'm
have
fine with.
a single falcon idea.
Uh, hey, so do I keep this giant loop thing for
No,
its
uh,
head, or do I
you
cut
don't
that
need
off?
it. You don't need it. You could,
Okay.
if you were just using plain green putty, I'd split the loop at the top. Mine's already
Hmm.
gone. I'd just go ahead and clip the loop at the top so you had something to build the jaw on, the lower
So
jaw.
just clip it right there.
Just clip the end of the bubble,
Okay, I gotta find some clippers.
end of the loop.
Um, I don't know. I think I'm digging Bowie. So I think maybe the best front man I've ever seen at a concert was David Bowie. Best stage presence.
Camel Rage says it has to do with your clothes dryer. Your clothes dryer, the Falcon is a harbinger that your clothes dryer is only going to last another 6 months.
Oh wow, that's pretty specific.
It is a very specific thing, but see, I wouldn't know
I like
that.
that. I wouldn't know that either. Okay, so I've got a separated. He's got almost got like my squirrel's got horns now. Has
Okay,
horns.
well, instead now, okay, well, here very quickly, if you wanted to do horns, you would keep them there, right?
Yeah.
So instead, go ahead and twist them on the side. So one's an upper and one's a lower, about where you think the head and jaw would be.
Oh, that's pretty long though. This guy's got a big long
Or
mouth.
clip them off, or bend them, fold them in half, maybe. Doesn't really matter as long as you're going to cover it with putty, but don't like leave a mess of it, because then the wire will protrude over the putty. Um, I'd make the edge of the cheeks of the mouth back farther. Can you do that? Or just make the head back farther? Yeah, at this stage, it could look like an alligator. It'd be okay.
Okay. Well, hey,
So
I'm
open the
still
mouth some more
succeeding.
too.
Okay.
Just remember, you're just going to use this. Like I said, this was mostly if you were just going to use straight green putty, because this putty mixture we're going to use, we can do an open mouth without too much trouble, without having it armatured underneath,
Okay.
as long as it's one piece with the original skull.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, I like David Lee Roth too.
What are you responding to?
Chat.
Oh, here we go.
I'm
Chat.
paying attention to our fans.
Well, that's good, because you're not paying attention to class at all. You're one of those kids that just spent the whole day looking out a window and throwing spit wads, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So just get a little tiny bit of putty,
Mm-hmm.
not a lot, because we're going to cover it with a lot of things. Now it's important to kind of think of an egg shape, where the
Okay.
pointy end of the egg would be the end of the muzzle.
Uh-huh.
The wider part of the egg would be.
Oh, okay. Egg. Let me see your egg. Okay. Mine's more of an alien worm.
Now I would leave the little part of the neck, since that's still
Mm-hmm.
pretty stiff wire the way we did it. Leave
Mm-hmm.
that unputtied,
Mm-hmm.
because we'll probably want to adjust that. Sometimes at the very end of a sculpt,
Mm-hmm.
you adjust how the head sits, how it tilts front or back, or how it tilts side to side, and it's just easier to do if the neck is still mobile.
Okay. Got it. I got to stay on camera. Stay on target.
Yep, I'm off again too.
All right.
Just such a small area to.
Yeah.
I thought I had this. You know what? Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. Yeah.
Do that. Yeah, the theme song's playing in my head right now.
The theme song for David Lee Roth.
Our show. No, our show.
It's a great theme song.
Yeah. It's a little twisted carnival action going on there.
Yeah.
Okay. How's this blob?
It's looking good.
Look at that. That's the best blob. That's an awesome blob.
Pretty damn good blob, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I wonder what Bob and Julie are thinking about this. What you doing now?
They're just laughing at the way I sculpt it, would be my guess. Because
what are you doing now? You're not telling your student what you're doing. You're just doing stuff, and your student has no idea what you're doing.
Okay, well, I am making just a little bit of a mouth. See?
Oh. Okay, so I need to make a mouth.
You know what?
Got it.
If I'm maybe this will be a little less glary. Yeah.
So how you cut the mouth all the way on the sides, all the way down the side, further than you would think you would need to.
Yeah, because, well, we're going to have a few more things in the putty with this, right? So
Ah,
we may put some fur on. You want to leave room if we want to show some teeth. You'll need to put lips on it. So
yeah.
just all we're doing now is building a little bit of an underlayment, and we can taper this around.
Uh-huh.
After we're done, we can take a knife and carve it if we want to. We could do a lot of things like that. So this is
Cool.
just basically to get kind of a symmetrical. What we're doing now is building a little.
Sorry about that. All right, we're back.
Oh, did you?
My iPad closed down, so I couldn't see chat. So I can't see you right now. You're off camera. Maybe if you zoomed out a little bit, it'd be easier to stay in.
Yeah. Well, then people were having trouble seeing.
Yeah.
No, that's as far as we go.
So are you doing something to his head?
Hang on here.
Done.
Yeah, pretty much. I would open the mouth though.
Okay. Yeah, they got closed with me screwing around with the eyeballs.
Now, there's a couple different ways we can approach the eyes on this.
Uh-huh.
It's, it's fairly easy if you can just take like a little round tool and make an eye.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
But now this is a tool I've hesitated to introduce to you, Michael, just because I know what it's going to do to you.
Oh, which is?
This is a double-ended ball burnisher. It's basically just a tool with ball bearings on the ends, right?
Oh, you didn't send me the double-ended ball burnisher.
I didn't.
Hmm.
I only had one.
Oh, damn it! I bet I got something. But that's just the best term. That's the best tool name. Period.
Yep, they come in all sorts of sizes. I mean, it's a ceramic tool.
Size matters. Oh, look. Do I have a? I have a. Look, I have a little tiny ball burnisher. I don't have a double-ended ball burnisher though. How many times do you think in this show I could say ball burnisher before it ends?
Well, as long as it's in pursuit of art, I think you can say it as all you want.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of fun to say. My one ball at the end of this burnisher got broken off. I had a little ball separation.
I'm not even going to ask how that happened. Is it another biking accident?
Could be. All right. Well, I had a little wire malfunction. My top wire is into his skull. So when I went to make an eyeball, the wire started coming out. I don't like that wire idea.
Well, clip it out then.
I'm going to abandon that.
One of the good things about using this kind of putty is that it does wind up being self-armaturing once it's hardened. So on small stuff like this will dry rock hard. It'll be like a little skull.
Uh-huh.
Remember, we're not worried
Aaron,
about
go ahead.
posing the head in relation to the body yet. We're just trying to get it symmetrical,
Oh,
which
okay.
is a
A
real pain
challenge in
trying to do it
itself.
under these cameras. Usually I would sit there with it. Well, here you can see my little, I would usually do it like this. You know, I'd have it right up next to my face.
Yeah.
So trying to do it at arm's length is kind of a pain. But anything for the cause, right?
Right.
So you're saying about Aaron?
Aaron Hartwell's on chat.
Aaron Hartwell's on. Well, good.
Yeah, Corporea.
I hope everything's going well in Aaron Hartwell's world.
She's my favorite doctor.
Is she?
Yep. And I have to work with them. So, oh, look at you. You got you're like killing me here. It's like you've done this before.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and, if you can, delineate a few, like, there. Okay.
Mine looks like a baby dinosaur or something.
I usually go around and isolate the eye sockets and press in a little bit of a...
With your tool that I don't have, because you
Well,
didn't send
okay,
them
I'll
to
switch
me.
it to a tool that you have. Man,
I'm delineating the eye sockets now.
so when you're not throwing spitballs or looking out the window, you're whining that you don't have the right tools.
Yes.
Boy, that must have been hard. It must have been a tough...
Yeah. I was a tough kid
student.
to deal with. Yeah.
So anyway, as long as you've got a couple depressions in there for eyes, you can work in some cheekbones if you want. Narrow the muzzle down a little bit if you want. And remember, pull the corner of the mouth all the way back under the eyes.
Let me see.
For now.
Ah. Mine just totally doesn't look like that. Let me see.
I'm going to open the mouth a little bit more. After this hardens up, we'll be able to shape this even more. But because I think our next thing that we're going to do on this is actually take a minute and some sandpaper and refine some of the shapes with sandpaper and files once it's dry.
Oh. Probably won't be this show.
No, my plan is actually, once we get this proto skull built, is to go ahead and abandon this and start working. I last time we did this, I was showing you how to do fur, and I realized it was almost impossible at that scale. So I thought we'd try to do some fur on a larger scale.
My squirrel fell out of the tree when it was young and hit its head and is now traumatized. Its skull is damaged. My squirrel may have brain damage.
Looking pretty good, though.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Looks pretty crude. Is that good? Because I'm thinking
it's okay
it looks
to have it crude right now. Can you show me from the top down?
Top down.
You know what? Take your... Do you have your tweezers? Those tweezers?
I do. I have these.
Yeah. Just very lightly try to squeeze the head a little bit more narrow. The whole head. Here? Just... Yeah, but not use the curved part of the tweezers.
Okay.
Yep. See how that works?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, he looks like he really hit his head. Get that jaw in. Look at that. Oh,
Then while you've
stick.
got the tweezers out, you can actually make the mouth a little bit wider too.
Oh,
So again,
open it up
that
more.
picture, remember the squirrel is just screaming.
Yeah, now look at that. We should have that picture available. We could have it up on the screen.
We should, but we'd have to do some photoshopping
Yeah.
to get rid of
Yeah.
the prior person's photoshopping.
Oh. Yeah, we need to exaggerate the features or just we're making the basic shapes right now, is my understanding.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Question
We'll
of
exaggerate the
minutes.
features on the next step.
Yeah. Yeah. My squirrel. This is just the prototype squirrel.
Yep. This is. Although, you know what I think would be fun to do if we continue to do this? We should actually sculpt a human skull one of these times.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare. But yeah, we should do that.
It's not bad. It's a good exercise.
Yes, I like exercises.
That way, if you don't have a pre-made skull and you need a skull for something, you can just whip one right out.
Yeah.
So we'll plan that for a future. I'll try to figure out the best way to do that.
I think I'm gonna have mine's gonna probably end up a dire zombie squirrel.
Okay.
At least
Well,
the
that's
first
a good
squirrel.
part about being able to tell the story as you're sculpting.
Yes.
You let the sculpt kind of tell you what it wants to be
Right.
to put it in
Hey,
more
you know
new
what?
agey terms.
We haven't done this yet. The Pokey Tool thing. For every 5 subs, we will give away a Pokey Tool. So if anybody wants to throw any subs out there, we will give away some Pokey Tools. You guys know the song and dance. But yeah, throw some subs out there. And yes, Casmania is Michael sculpting a dinosaur squirrel. Quite possibly.
Yep, a dino squirrel.
Dino squirrel.
Although at this stage, especially at this scale, our little skull form is not that much different.
And this will be a Kickstarter exclusive.
Kaiju squirrel.
Yeah. Kaiju squirrel. Yeah.
Very good. Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirrel. All right. So, are you happy with that? Those tweezers worked really well, didn't they? Those are just a nice modeling. Show those again, because those are the kind I recommend. I usually pick those out of a parts bin at a gun show or a collectible show.
These are the ones you sent me.
Yeah, and they're a little bit stiffer. You know how some are just a little too, they don't have enough spring to them. You want them to be kind of springy.
Yeah,
and that
kind
curve,
of stiff.
for whatever reason, allows you a lot more sculpting options with the curve on that set.
Dinosaur Squirrel approves.
Okay, Dino Squirrel approves.
Yeah.
It's not in Bone 6. I'm not backing. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you right now. Thanks,
Man, that's
Clavicus.
hard-ass.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Yeah, damn it.
Well, man, all the stuff we've been making for Bone 6, you've seen some of it.
I have, but I don't have anything. I haven't been sent anything to paint. Well, that's not true. I have a couple of things.
Well,
I have that big-ass dragon.
Yeah, I believe that knoll that you painted.
Julie's knoll?
And there's a dragon. Yeah, there's a couple of things.
Well, bugbears. I think the bugbears. Are the bugbears in there? Bobby's bugbears?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Clavigus, anyways.
Oh, what's that?
Let's sculpt some fur.
Okay.
You want to do the fur demo now?
Did that appear on the... No, it did not. That's good.
Probably put too much of this stuff on.
Yeah, that's an
Hashtag
awful lot. That's a lot.
hashtag free.
What do you
I just
what do
didn't
you
want to make
grease it
sure
up for, man?
it's for a Pugh party.
Good Lord.
You know? It's really looks like it's more than it is. It smells really
Okay.
strong too.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
It was
probably
pretty
enough to
sticky.
help dissolve that plastic.
Look, okay, here we go. All right, now we're gonna make fur, huh?
Don't you know petroleum's at a premium right now? You're just going through it like, it grows on trees.
Okay. No. The all the shipping lanes are back open.
Yeah, but it's more expensive.
Yeah,
This
I
is
didn't pay
doubled
for
in
this.
price, this little thing. All right. Anyway.
Skin.
All right. So I think I'll go ahead and
Is that big enough?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna sculpt fur, everybody.
Okay. Well, if that's what you want, sure. I just thought it might be better to do this on a little bit larger piece than last time, so that we could actually see what we're talking about.
All right. Fur 101, let's go.
Okay, so the very basic fur is like anything else. To get a realistic look, you want to actually make it look like it has a little bit of layering to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna look a little more crude than it needs to be, because we're gonna work it pretty big. Now,
Okay.
what I'm using for this is that little spatula we made out of the X-Acto knife.
Yeah, I have mine right here. Look at that. It's got the curved in. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm doing, I would normally let this sit just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, in ceramics, we would call it resting. Let the putty rest for a minute while it firms up just a little bit. But if you just draw it across there and you make sure that there's just a little tiny bit of that Skinner balm, so that it's a tool release. And you notice we're using that pole, but we're also not cutting the putty, right?
Oh yeah, we're just pushing in.
Well, you're pushing and dragging, kind of.
Okay. Is it almost like making a pencil stroke?
Yep, very much like it.
All right.
There we go. That's a better angle.
How's that?
Pretty good. So one of the things you do with fur is you try to locate the direction it's going, right? So you look at an actual animal, and you look at the way the fur is going, and you start at either depending on the orientation, either one side, the side it's pulling to, or the bottom if it's hanging down.
Okay.
Right?
Kind of like.
So that's the lowest rank.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you go ahead and you kind of plunge the tool in and pull it back up over that other rank.
Oh, okay.
So you should have like a little wave ridge
Mm-hmm.
that pulls over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't tell you. We're getting our new windows in on Thursday. They start putting them in.
You got to do that before your deck.
Yes, I know. If we could schedule everything out at the right times, it would have been great to get the deck first. No. We want the windows first because we have a shit deck, and so they do all the windows and then they do the deck.
Right, and they do
So
the deck.
yeah, so it is working out for the best.
Yeah, because if the guys doing the deck put out the windows, they got to replace them.
Yeah, but we have been waiting a year and a half for the windows to come in.
It's the 2nd of March. The snow has just melted and the ice cream guy is going by.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, I'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So now you're pulling that second rank over.
Uh-huh.
And you let that, I don't know if you can tell.
Oh, you have a much deeper layer. Yeah.
But you can see that ridge.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if there were muscles underneath here, we'd be following the contours of the muscle as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you'd plan it so that the high peaks of this wave that you're making would break on the edge, the higher edge or the farthest away edge of a bulge, like a muscle bulge.
Yeah.
And
Jason
then
said bulge.
I did. And then the next rank would also serve as a demarcation between the muscles.
So are you going back into your first layer and kind of picking up?
I'm going back in and
layer?
just kind of enhancing the effect.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm used to doing this fairly aggressively because, again, a mold is made, then a master is made, and then a mold is made off the master. Mm-hmm. So the more aggressive texture becomes tamed by the multiple iterations of the copies, kind of like the Xerox effect, right?
So if you're just doing a conversion, then you want to.
If you're just doing a conversion, you might want to be a little bit more tame.
Okay. Tame as in?
And maybe not so deep.
Okay.
Maybe not so aggressive. So you can also go in now, depending on the kind of fur you want,
mm-hmm.
and you can pick up a few of those clumps and push them around a little bit. I don't know if we'll be able to see this. Maybe we will. See if I can get a good. If you pull them so that they're more of an S shape, pull them to the side. Mm-hmm. Just grab one and push it over just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can make a more curly or wavy fur texture. So that first set of strokes we did, of course, is just kind of setting the tone for the whole piece. Because now you're going to go in and you can divide up some of those clumps a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And build in some interest and change some of the. They're not individual strands, they're individual clumps of strands. We obviously can't sculpt every strand, we wouldn't want to. A lot of sculpting at the scale that we're talking about is necessarily abstract. Someone had mentioned earlier that you had to emphasize the features, and yes, you do. You have to make them much bigger than they would be naturally. If you blew up any of our sculpts, they'd look kind of funny if you made them 6 feet tall. The eyes would be huge, the eyelids would be huge, the hands would be huge. Mm-hmm. But at scale, you develop how that looks best.
Oops.
And we've noticed that a lot. We've had some discussions about that's where your style can really show, is how you exaggerate some of those things. And one of the problems that I think that digital sculptors will run into every so often is they'll make something that looks perfect on the screen, but when it's printed out, the details kind of get lost at the scale that it's printed out. So um, if you come to digital sculpting from a, say, an animation background or a special effects background, a video background, you'll have to really make an attempt to exaggerate some of those features, even digitally. Now, see, that's looking really good. So you can take and do exactly what you were doing. You can play around with it. You can make it more curly. You can make it more straight. One of the things you can also do, if it gets a little away from you,
Mm-hmm.
you can also just take your finger. Remember what we said last time. If you let your finger rest, the fingerprints get in there. But
Yeah,
if you keep the finger in motion, the fingerprints don't get in there. And you can
that's
kind of
good
go
for.
back and tame that. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to head you off there, but
Well, it's good for robbing
um,
banks too.
yeah,
You
good for
don't.
robbing banks.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take a variety of different tools and just kind of tame that down a little bit too.
This is very cathartic.
Like I said, it applies pretty much whenever you're doing a texture. In your mind, try to break up what you're texturing
Mm-hmm.
into logical segments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can imagine, say, the side of a dog, right, between the two legs, or between the two legs on one side,
Ah,
you
yeah.
don't want to you don't want to work from the center of the dog's chest as seen from the side. You don't want to work from the center and then
Mm-hmm.
have to match that texture in the front. So instead, you try to plan on doing that whole side between the two legs so that it's all done in one pass and you don't have to worry about matching a next application of putty. So instead of like doing the top of the thigh, the top of the arm, and half the chest, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do the full chest first and then do a leg and then do another leg. And then
Oh,
you
okay.
only have to blend the boundaries instead of trying to blend on a larger surface, trying to
Oh,
blend that
okay.
texture. Yeah, you're having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it's fun.
So is this are you getting an idea on that one project you were talking about with the bear, I think it was?
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, I'm gonna reskin the bear or refur the bear, I should say. But yeah, this
Oh,
is
someone got a box of my metal Tomb Guardian doors.
yeah, pretty
Do you have
stoked.
those?
I do not.
Do you need them?
Yeah, I do. Do you have some?
I might be able to do some trading.
Okay.
We also have to
Well,
figure out
I was
uh,
just gonna. You just
we
send them to me. I'll paint them for you. That's all I want to do is
yeah,
just paint
we
them
have
and
a.
get the pictures, and I don't need to keep them.
I also got a nice box in from the Rodmans that's got our buses in it.
Oh yeah, Ben's sending me some stuff too. I think I might get a bus as
Yeah,
well.
and Ben sent me a whole bunch of buses. He actually had antiqued them and polished them so they all look like antique pewter buses, but they take paint just fine.
Yeah, here's one.
Yep, we're going to work on a bigger one, but we got to figure out a mechanism by which we can get those out to some people. I mean, I know we have the wonderful paint tools, but what can we do with the buses? Do you think?
Um, I was kind of thinking that the buses might end up being kind of a ReaperCon exclusive kind of thing.
Maybe.
because we can't get Justin to mail them out.
Well, I got them. I can mail them out.
No. Well, I don't know. There needs to be something special. If anybody has any
Yeah, I don't have a
good
ton of them.
ideas, yeah,
I don't have a ton.
And
So we'll
I think it
figure out
would
something.
be,
Maybe we'll have some contests.
yeah. Ooh, you know. Okay, so when I was
Well,
doing
one thing
this
we wanted,
text,
remember, we were talking about, we wanted some lyrics that go along with our theme song.
yeah. So when I was doing this texturing and you were talking about it, it made me think about kind of how I paint textures, and
Yes,
it is kind of doing these kind of lines first
right,
and then coming over and doing more and then refining them, and then because you can just paint over them if you need to,
right.
but you just continue to work it, and the more layers you create, the more believable the textures are. Been
And
doing
don't be afraid to experiment with different tool tips either.
just the tip.
Right. So I'm using one of the Bees Putty's tools here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to. This would be if you had something that had more clumpy fur, more. This is how, if we talk about anime hair, this is sort of what anime hair is, where you
I
have.
can't see.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, show me that. Show. So someone asked, what are we making?
We're just
We
going over a couple of easy ways to do texture on a critter. We're making a squirrel, but right now his little skull underlayment is drying, so we can't really do anything with it right now.
mm,
So that's what we did at the start of the show.
yeah.
But we can actually take and pick up. A lot of times when you start sculpting, you think you have to add in strands, like you have to roll out little snakes and add in strands. And that's
Mm-hmm.
perfectly a valid way to do hair. And
Mm-hmm.
very often we'll use several techniques where, like, you take that panel that you have on our left,
Mm-hmm.
that panel that you have, and then if you did go back over with some like tapered snakes and laid it over the top,
Mm.
then you'd get a really super aggressive, really furry texture, right?
Mm.
Sometimes you think about like a dirty fur.
That'd be a good name for a band.
With gore and dried stuff on it.
Yeah. Dirty fur.
Well, maybe when you record our theme song after our
Yeah.
listeners send in some lyrics, maybe you could use that.
Can I sing it?
Because you used to play what? You used to play the bongos and the harmonica, didn't you? Isn't that your deal? At the same time.
I did play the bass guitar at one time in a speed metal band.
A speed metal band. Now that
yes.
I can see. I can see where that would fit.
Because that was the extent of my ability.
So anyway, you can take and use our same kind of pluck idea.
Yeah.
And pluck up.
I don't.
What would you call them? Kind of, I guess, angles. Heavy toward the top, lighter toward the bottom. Right, and then you can go ahead and you can scribe in some texture onto each one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have another kind of fur. I've seen a lot of Games Workshop, a lot of the older Games Workshop wolves, for instance, had this kind of fur on them.
Oh, much more subtle.
Well, it was all like triangles, kind of long
Uh-huh.
triangles, and then each triangle had 2 or 3 striation lines in it.
Mm-hmm.
Very stylized fur, but very effective once it was painted.
Because it's all about the painting.
Well, in a way, it is.
Because you guys are just creating the canvas.
Well, yeah,
We're
I've
the
heard
ones that
that,
are
but that
really.
isn't really. It isn't the way we feel about it, you know.
I know Julie's listening.
But at what we're doing here is more of a type of a hobby thing, then yes, you do want to sculpt so it's easier for you to paint. Um, this texture is particularly effective if all you do is dry brush it. And I know that's a terrible thing to say to a master class painter, but if all you do is dry brush it and wash a little ink in the grooves, it makes a fully effective fur.
Hey, I am not a dry brush hater. That's another streamer that is that way. That's
Well,
not
I know.
me.
I've heard, I've heard various things,
Yeah.
but from
Look at
my own
this.
painting experience, if I'm trying to get on the tabletop, man, I'll do anything it takes to make it look good.
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't have any Minwax.
Well, I will get snooty on the Minwax because that's just ruining the hobby in
Yeah.
general and your miniature.
You got some Nuln oil, maybe. Okay. So I'm done with the fur for now. Why, we still have a
Okay.
little life left in this putty?
Yeah. I just made a little extra tentacle over here.
Very good. Well, you can see how that works, and don't be afraid to pull up stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, make it more ridged. Don't feel bad about pushing down. Like I said, wherever there's a muscle striation, you
Uh-huh.
push a little bit deeper along that line in that line of fur.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily always correct in terms of anatomy, but boy, does it work well in a miniature once you've painted it.
Amon and the Hoteps.
Oh, that's been a while.
Mm-hmm. I like that movie.
Oh, we're making a mess apparently. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Sure. All right, I get you. All right, you want to play around with some scales now?
yeah, let's do that. I'm excited about this. This need to be a little bit thicker. I shouldn't get it super thin. I need to have some
No.
depth to the putty at all.
Well, for our purposes today, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Have it a little thicker. Okay.
Yeah, if we hopefully we got enough life left in this wad of
All
putty.
right. So you're cutting lines.
Now remember, I dulled this, so it's not really a
And
slice.
you're not going all the way through. You're just making a deep
No, it's a
impression.
groove.
It's a groove. Okay.
Yeah. Now all I'm doing this for is to kind of mark off.
We're going.
And again, we're doing this much larger and much cruder in order for us to see what we're doing. Okay.
Okay.
So we've got this, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Well, go ahead and finish. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. I'm not sure why my dog is barking. Our new little girl pug has a no middle range. She doesn't bark just a little bit. If she barks, it always sounds like she's ready to tear someone's leg off.
Oh.
Don't pull it.
Okay.
Try to push it down in there and try not to pull it as much. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so in this particular kind of scale, we're imagining these as on the diagonal.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to
Uh-huh.
pick a scale along the bottom edge. Obviously, you want to orient yourself so it's diagonal. And then you want to take the top of that diamond and just kind of push it in a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
So you're pushing in at the top of
Uh-huh.
that little trapezoid, right?
Yeah.
So even
What?
just by doing that really quickly, you've
Yeah.
already got kind of a scale pattern going.
Kind of.
And the deeper you push in like that,
Uh-huh.
and then you leave that trailing edge up, you can go back in and kind of pick it up from underneath. Not the edge where you push down, but the other edge that's overlapping.
Oh, look at that.
Now, if you're doing, you can do this in any number of shapes. And obviously, if you're doing a mechanical scale, like on
Mm-hmm.
a scale armor, you want to be really super precise. If
Yeah.
you're doing an animal scale, you actually kind of want to look at an animal hide. Iguanas are really good to look at because they've got such a good variety of scales.
Yeah. Cool colors too.
Yeah, but they have those just a huge variety of scales, right? They have little tiny ones.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there aren't bigger scales where the skin has to bend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like wrinkles. If you imagine wherever there's a wrinkle, like on your knuckles, there's
Mm-hmm.
big wrinkles there, right? It's like a gusset so that you can move your bones underneath there without pulling your skin. So you have that extra wrinkle. On a scaly critter, wherever that big wrinkle would be is also generally smaller scales
Mm.
so that you can preserve the motion. The bigger scales are usually on the belly and the back, which don't really fold, right?
Mm-hmm. This little tool we made, this little X-Acto tool, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a very good basic tool. It really is. If you had to just pick one, like I said, if you're on a desert island with epoxy putty and X-Acto
Yeah.
knife, you're doing all right.
So, can you remind everybody how we made this?
Well, very simply, it's a regular X-Acto knife blade.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was I took, again, my Arkansas stone, my sharpening stone.
That's not racist?
Why? Anyway, you lost me on that one. So, yeah, you have just your basic X-Acto knife blade. I took
Yeah.
don't hit it with the wire cutters because you might ruin the cutting surface of your wire cutters. Take a good strong pair of pliers and just
Yeah.
snap that little bit off the very tip so that there's no sharp tip left.
Just the tip.
Yep, just the tip. And wear eye protection because that little tip, you want to track it down, because if you leave it laying on the floor, it will wind up in your foot or your dog's foot or something, cat's
Yeah.
foot. So then you've
Yeah.
got the tip gone,
Yeah.
and I just went ahead and rounded it off on my Arkansas stone, my carborundum stone, whatever you want.
Yeah. Those Arkansas people, they're a breed of their own.
Well, I don't think it's insulting. So you round
Have you
off the
been to
tip
Arkansas?
right here. Yeah, I like
Okay.
Arkansas. I've not even really been to the Ozarks, but okay.
Ooh.
So you round off the tip, and then I go ahead and take the very sharpest edge
I was doing all that work
along
off
the
camera.
X-Acto knife off the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's just for your own safety. You can use that as a grooving thing that doesn't necessarily cut the putty, because again, we don't want to cut the putty that much because there's a skin that forms as it hardens, and the more you cut it, the more raggedy that can be. So you mostly just want to groove it. So you can see where we're going to on the scales, it looks like.
Yeah, look at that. Look at my scales. Look at that scales.
Pretty
That's
good.
some badass scales
And
there.
you can go ahead and turn around and take the edge off that scale. Anyway, this X-Acto knife is more like a little spatula once you've done those operations to it.
Uh-huh.
But you can take the little point off that scale and shape it even farther and make a round scale.
Uh-huh.
Now that I'm reminded, I'm going to show you on the next thing, on the next time we do this, a little, there's a way to make a scale tool that works really well.
Ooh. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's more like a fork. And that works really good for round scales. But see, we could leave those sharp. We could pick this up and make them round. Really, that initial grid mark that we did on there was just to kind of delineate so you don't go too far beyond that volumetric area for that scale. So it stands to reason if you're working on an area with multiple sizes of scales, you're going to have to figure out how to do that with your grid pattern first.
Let me see here. There we go. Reaper Dave is paying attention. Be on your best behavior, Jason.
I like Reaper Dave. We get along just fine.
Reaper Dave. He's awesome. Brother Dave.
Brother Dave. Well, maybe he'll start sculpting. I don't know that I've seen a Reaper Dave sculpt. I've seen some Reaper Ed sculpts, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
I've no doubt that he can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with that. I know he's watching. I'm going to say that he would do awesome sculpting.
Well, yeah.
Right?
That's absolutely.
Smart, yeah.
It is very smart.
Right.
You don't get to the high stations in life that you're at without knowing how to polish an apple or two. So, to take this even further, did I send you one of those little watch oiler watch spoon things?
Show me.
Yours would have a brightly colored handle with a plastic tip on the end.
Just the tip. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I like those. I like those because they're teeny tiny little knives at the end, little even teenier spatulas at the end. And I tend to use those for
Mine
making
is a nubby.
lines. Let's see what you got.
Mine is a little nubby.
Let me see
Let's
it.
see. Let me zoom in.
Isn't it flat though at the end?
See? It's got a little nub.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's what we
Okay.
were looking for. It's like a little spatula. So you
Huh.
take it and you get the side of that.
I can't see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's see. The putty may be getting a little too hard. I'm going to actually use this little tool probably because it's a little bigger. But if you want, you can go back in and scribe in some texture on each scale.
Oh.
And a lot of times, if the scale is rigid or has ridges,
Ruffles.
English is a terrible language. So the ridges would be more pronounced where they come together at the tip of that, the underlaying tip of that scale. They'd be far more orderly.
Oh, Dave sculpted the Arachno Assassin. It's credited to Ed, but
well, that's a wonderful sculpt.
Yeah, I think Dave's saying that he pretty much did it. And,
that's a famous sculpt.
Yeah, and gave credit to Ed.
See, that's altruism.
He says he helped.
Right there.
Yeah, he says he helped, but
that's altruism right there. That is something you can't. That's a quality that you're born with right there. You can't learn how to do that stuff.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It just comes natural to some people.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm putting these lines in so these look a little bit like a seashell, kind of. If you imagine how the striations on a seashell are tighter and crisper toward the one end and they fan out toward the other. But then that way you can get some ridges in your scales if you would like. And you can also go along the edge now that you've got the edge laid out. And have you noticed now that the putty's a little stiffer, there's some things you can do that you couldn't do when it was a little less cured?
It's holding like if I'm using the sharp end of the blade just to push in, it's holding that.
So if you want to do
compression more,
if you want to do like a super polished piece, you do it right before that putty is hard all the way. Right? So you figure out when it's going to be hard all the way, and then you do it right before then.
That's always the challenge.
I say that in full knowledge of knowing that it takes a while for you to experience the different stages of curing putty before you can really forecast that.
Does humidity play a difference in the
humidity does affect putty. Heat affects a putty. Heat sets it faster. Cold sets it. Humidity can do a couple of different things. Sometimes, like when we've gotten to Texas and it was super humid, I've noticed we've had trouble with it getting gummy sometimes. So I don't know that it should be water resistant because it is a plumbing putty, but I think in a way it's a little hygroscopic. It absorbs a little water.
Oh yeah, true. Good point.
So what I'm doing now is kind of I've turned some of these scales into kind of a leaf pattern. Can you see that?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So you can do all kinds of stuff with that same basic push down at the top and pull back and push down at the top and pull back up over. And then it's just a process of going over and refining it. Okay. But one of the most frustrating things is if you mix up putty and you try to do too big an area at once, that will defeat you pretty fast.
Hmm.
So it's good to figure out what kind of scale pattern you want before you actually start.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. And number two, you figure out the process. Like anything else, you figure out the process for each scale so you can do it fairly fast.
I can see this application being used in basing a lot too.
Oh,
Making,
yes, this leaf thing that we're doing right now, you
yeah,
could take this same idea and make all kinds of little plants
yep,
just by pulling the leaves up and out,
yep. No, I
right?
think this is, yeah, I might
So
even,
if you can't find them in your nature travels, you can actually just make them.
yeah, that's really cool.
Hey, did you get any of Wicked Elf's bamboo yet?
No, I thought it was in the mail and I haven't got it yet. I
Yeah,
don't see him on
I gotta
today,
get some.
but
Speaking
I
of,
have a diorama. I have the miniatures already painted. And I was waiting to make. I've been waiting to make the base, not because of the bamboo, but after I saw the bamboo, I'm like, oh, I have to incorporate that. So I'm actually waiting till I get that.
so you can see here how much of that I've actually plucked up.
Wow! Oh wow! Here, let me see. So you can see mine. Uh, uh, there we go.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
Yeah, fantastic.
cool.
So that's a scale pattern, a simple
That's
scale pattern.
yeah. That's a great. That's great. I mean, the more you mess with it, I might even try to make them more diamond shaped.
Yeah, make them diamond shaped. You can make them long.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about other textures, like on an iguana or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
there's a point at which the heavy scales turn to a more knobbly just texture.
Uh huh.
And that's what these little tubes, whatever you want your tubes made out of. I mean, you can find plants that'll do this, steel tubes of all kinds, hypodermic needles that you grind off the edges once you're done shooting up. Um,
Good life lessons there. Just tell the kids.
yeah, well, you can get them for
Yeah.
free at a lot of
To
metropolitan
clarify,
areas now.
Twitch, that's shooting up Kool-Aid.
Yes, Kool
Yeah,
Aid. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the new term they're using these days, right, Justin?
Yes, to describe the
Kool
sugary
Aid.
mixed drink that's completely legal to consume.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kool Aid. Just so you know,
I
Twitch.
was talking about
Jake.
insulin, Justin. Damn it.
Yeah,
All
come
right.
on.
Why your mind always goes right to the gutter?
Mm.
Anyway, so you can take your steel tube
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and add a texture right along the edge of some of those bigger scales.
Mm. Oh yeah.
See? And then because you've done essentially the same thing only round, if you used a big enough tube, you can go back in each one of those little bumps. We did this with the acorn top.
Mm-hmm.
You can go back in each one of those little bumps, especially where they blend into the bigger scales, and
Mm-hmm.
pull out small scales.
Mm. Ah. Hey,
So
so
again, I'm holding
I.
my tool sideways if you can see it.
Oh, and you're plucking.
And I'm pushing it down and pulling it back. This is another way of doing plants. We could just do plants one day if you want.
You know what I would like to do? I want to. How do you do tree bark and it not look like hair?
Oh, that's I can show you that.
Yeah.
So anyway, you see how that. Let's see if I can get that. See how those little round scales work?
Yeah. No, those are. I remember old school dragons from back in the day. They would just use a little burnisher tool, like initially just put the circles everywhere.
Yep. Well, and then if you use that to define your volume and go back in with your spatula tool and pull them out, that's an
Mhm.
easy way to make a whole bunch of little round scales, the
Mhm.
same way we did these diagonal ones.
Oh, look at that.
Also, it's about time to wrap up, by the way.
No way! I'm having too
What?
much fun.
We're
No.
doing
Yeah.
This may not be the most
No.
exciting show, but
It's
I'm
not the
telling you,
most exciting show, but
I'm having a
you know,
blast.
this is solid information. You'd have to pay people sometimes to teach you this.
Hey, can you see what I just did here? Check this out.
I
Let
can.
me see if look at that.
Yeah.
See that?
Exciting.
It
Yeah.
almost looks like
So
chainmail
I just
there,
did.
Michael.
That's pretty close to chainmail. This is a way that you can do chainmail as well.
Right. So I took the circle and just pulled. I
Yep.
like that.
Actually, that's exactly how you do chainmail. You just have to be really controlled about it.
Look, I am just
You
a
do chainmail
natural.
as a series of C's that you pull over each other.
Look at that. C is for cookie.
Or
Cool.
you can
Hey,
do
so-
it like I do.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
It's 5:20. Wow. Thanks. Hey guys, did we get any subs to do a giveaway Pokey Tool?
We did not today.
No, you didn't get one sub.
Nope.
Oh well. Well, no Pokey Tools.
No Poketools. But I do think that going forward, when we do the sculpting show,
Yeah.
I think I would like for us to have a partnership, if we can, with maybe some sculpting tool people, and we can actually give away sets or supplies or green stuff or something that makes sense for what the show is doing.
Right.
And then the paint Poketool can be for when we're painting.
Yeah.
So, if you guys want to see sculpting specific giveaways for these shows, let us
Ooh,
know
look at
in the chat going forward.
Look, Max Styles just gave away 2 subs.
That is 1 sub. That's 2 in the channel.
What does that mean? 2 in there. There's 2.
We don't know. What is that? That's some kind of technician lingo.
Yeah,
that's
seems like
that's 2 in the
seems like
channel, like
legalese.
lifetime. That's
seems
what
like
that means.
legalese. Look at that. He gifted another
But
one. So that's
Turjon
4.
did actually take us into the threshold of our first Poketool.
All
However,
right.
like I said, or we can call an audible, and by that I mean if we want to give away maybe a pack of green stuff or a couple of packs of green stuff this go around.
Sure.
By a couple, I mean like for the the one that we're doing.
Yeah.
From
I'd say
Reaper,
that would be good.
a Reaper green stuff thingy.
Yeah, Reaper green stuff.
Yeah. So are we doing? Let's do a Poketool and the green stuff.
I think that sounds like a
Together.
great idea this go around.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, go ahead
So-
and get your hashtag free in.
Are we giving them together or are they separate?
No, they'll be together.
Okay, cool.
So
That's
you'll
what
get
I
a
like.
Poketool.
Wow,
Right
so
now
it's
we're
a whole
giving away.
kit. It's a sculpting and painting kit.
Yes.
Yeah. You
right
could
now, we
You
have
could use
one
your
being given
Poketool
away.
to sculpt.
Something to unclog your nipples and something to sculpt with.
That's
Fantastic.
true. You can absolutely
To puncture
sculpt.
your hymen.
All right.
That was a Ron.
Let's,
That was Ron. Ron did that.
Well, you're not wrong. He did, but
It's like
He did.
working with kids.
Crow's Nest Poketool and green stuff, which I don't have a sample of.
Who sculpted that Poketool?
This Poketool sculpted by. Let me get a one out of the package, and so you can see it. Sculpted by the legendary Julie Guthrie. Oops. And lettered by the equally legendary Bob Rodolfi. Yeah, there we go.
be really cool if we could get them set up technologically and have them on this show. To
Yeah.
kinda
Yep.
do some fun stuff.
I agree.
I think they're interested in doing it last week. Kind of talked to them. The problem is getting the equipment together and then doing the learning session that it takes to get this.
Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. It was a lot of fun day. I'm sorry if it was a little bit quiet at times. but I learned a lot. And
Well, sometimes when you're sculpting, you don't talk a lot.
true, true.
But look at all you did. Look, you got all kinds of scales done. You got a squirrel skull done, all in just a little over an hour.
I know. I'm happy about the. I have. It's more of a little baby T-Rex skull, but let's see how it comes out. Um, and no, I enjoyed this the scales and the fur, dude. We did fur and scales today. Look at
Oh,
that.
we did fur too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
We did.
so that was fun. Yeah, and it makes Max Styles less afraid of sculpting. Hey, we're
Well, that's
breaking down
good. I mean,
walls.
that's kind of our mission, is to make people
Yeah,
fear less things in their lives.
yeah,
And if
Yeah,
we've
when you
taken the heat off of you just about sculpting, because I that's a weird anxiety to have, but I imagine some people have it.
no, it is, and there's fear. Like trying something new, and just digging in and doing it. Yeah, there's a lot of I hear that a lot with painting too, and it's just
Yeah.
got to do it.
Well, like
Got to do
anything
it.
else, it's good to just jump right in, do some
Hmm.
research, jump right in, get some tools, get some putty. You can use clay, you can use anything. Um, I'm
Right.
fond of saying that there's been several times in my life that art has saved my life, and I will stand by that. And I think everybody should have a creative outlet of some kind.
All right, are you ready to read off the winner here of today's giveaway?
I'm ready. I'm
All
ready.
right, here
Hey,
we go.
let's think yellow and blue.
Let's
Just
thank
keep
yellow
that
and
in our
blue.
hearts right now.
You know what?
Yep.
Absolutely, I can 100% get behind that. That's a good
Right.
call. Yellow and
Yeah.
blue on the screen. That's perfect.
Yellow
Yep.
and blue.
Well, that's why I put it in our little Facebook deal today.
Even
Yeah.
better. Even better.
Yep. Yellow and blue.
We
All right, so
typically
I'm
try
ready.
not to get political on this channel because
No.
it's just
Yeah.
what we don't do.
Support
But I
isn't
think
necessarily political.
correct in this circumstance. I
This
think this is kind of
Yeah.
different.
You're getting your ass shot off,
this
Yeah.
isn't political. This
Nope.
is right and
Yeah.
wrong.
I
It's
agree.
So,
I
humanitarian.
do agree. So thank you guys very much for watching. And Michael, here is our winner.
all right. Team no. Uh oh. Doso 2222 has been drawn for the giveaway.
There it is.
Doso. Yeah, congratulations. Doso
You get a
2222.
pokey tool and some green stuff.
You get a pokey tool, you get the Crow's Nest exclusive pokey tool, and you get some blue and yellow.
Oh. And we will look into maybe getting some maybe like I said, a partnership with some sculpting people, and maybe get
Yep.
some tools. Maybe we can have some custom tools made to give away as like a super gift.
Ooh.
Like I
And
happen
that
to
would
know.
be a super gift. That takes
Yeah,
a
it
while
would
to
be
make
a
a good
super
tool.
It does.
gift.
It would have to be
Yeah.
something that's like we're talking like a monthly drawing maybe, or like every 2 months,
Yeah.
or some sort of big goal, right?
I could
Well, we
give
could
away.
we could definitely make people some X-Acto knife putty knives. That
Yeah.
I would
There
be
we
more
go.
than happy to make some of those.
Yeah,
But
Corporea wants to win this tool.
but all right. Well, thank you guys very much. I'm gonna go ahead and hit our outro here.
Right. Hey guys,
Um,
thanks you so much. Have a great week. Be
Thanks,
safe.
everybody. Have a good week. Keep your head
Keep being
down.
awesome. Enjoy Elden Ring for those of you playing it. And
Yeah.
Thanks, Julie.
Boy, that
Thanks,
looks
Bob.
great.
and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
All right.